Jumping into the number 5 spot of the best Prime Day gaming headset deals is the EXA E900 Pros, coming in at a typical price tag of $59.99, now on sale for $36.49. If at any point during the video you want to check out any of the 5 deals in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's talk about the EXA E900 Pro. So again, about $36 on sale. That is a good price. The build quality here is really good. There's metal bands that connect the earmuffs, faux leather headband. They feel and look actually very premium. Also, when connected with the USB, this has red lighting on the earmuffs, which is just kind of cool. For the controls, this has a volume wheel and a mic mute button on the left side. For connectivity, this can either be used with a 3.5mm cable or a USB Type-C to USB Type-A, which is awesome. Both are detachable, which is impressive considering the typical price point, but $36? Come on, man. Now for sound quality. The bass is absolutely fantastic. It's really quite impressive. Trebles are lacking a very small amount, but overall a very balanced sound, great for gaming and great for special awareness. You do need to download the Virtual 7.1, but once you do that, these are like so good for spatial awareness as well as just listening to music. These just sound really good. Now for comfort, this is the other section where the EXA E900 Pros, it's why they've consistently been on tons of my other videos, but especially in this video because the Prime Day sale on this is really good. The comfort is by far one of the most comfortable headsets I have ever used still to this day, even when compared to multiple $100 headsets. This headset is stupid good. Those earmuffs are like this vegan leather, just so plush and soft. They sit perfectly on your head without pressing too hard. These are literally extraordinary for comfort. Now for the mic, it's a little muffled, but still perfectly able to understand. It is also detachable, which is very cool. So to get a replacement, that would be possible. But don't take my word for it. Take a listen to the mic test.
I'm Consumer Tech Review, and this is the mic test of the EXA E900 Pros. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds. But to top it off, you have compatibility with the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. But with that, let's move on to the number 4 spot, which is the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 1P. With a typical price tag of $59.99, now on sale for $44.99. The build quality here is actually one of the best on the list. The smooth system for adjusting the band is great and feels like it will last for a very long time. All the plastic bits are well put together and don't attract fingerprints and look really good after a lot of use, which is just a nice pro on the finish that they used. The controls on this headset do not feel parts binny. They feel custom to this headset. The mic is a pull-outable mic and it fits perfectly into the body of the headset, which is really cool. For where your head sits on the headset, there is an adjustable elastic band, which feels very high quality. SteelSeries just went the extra mile here with the build quality and, well, I appreciate that. Also a note, for the Prime Day price of $44.99, the build quality is like unreal, so yeah. Now connectivity here is good with an asterisk. While it does give you a detachable 3.5mm connection, the stock cable that they give you is super short, which is like good for Xbox use. Fantastic for Xbox use because you just plug it in your controller, but if you're using it on PC, you're gonna wanna swap it out with a different 3.5mm cable. Not a big deal as they're super cheap, but a note. Sound quality on the Arctis Nova 1Ps are good, and it really is good. However, compared to the others on the list, which are honestly really quite exceptional for the price, these are uninspiring. What I mean by this is the bass is not overbearing or muddy, but I honestly want a little bit more bass. The mids and trebles are very good, but slightly muddy, and when compared to the others on the list, doesn't quite stack up, but it's still very good. And for the $44 price point, yeah, I would say it's very good. Comfort here is honestly really good. For my head, it presses slightly too hard, but the earmuffs are nice and plush and the top band honestly feels great. The mic quality here is also impressively good. Take a listen for yourself.
This is the mic test of the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 1Ps. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds. Now compatibility, this is compatible with PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, so that's really good. But with that, let's move on to the number 3 spot, which is the Corsair Void RGB Elite, coming in at a typical price tag of $109.99, but now on sale for only $69.99. Build quality here is very good. This is incredibly solid. Now, while I would say the build quality is better than the previous headset, it is a little bit heavier. These have super strong metal arms that connect the earmuffs to the top band. The headset overall is very well put together and feels like it could take a hell of a beating. The mic arm is not removable here, but it does flip up 90 degrees. The earmuffs also have this great fabric on them that's similar to the SteelSeries, but quite a bit softer here. This also can fold flat to rest around your neck, but the mic hits my neck and it's a little tight, so it's not really that comfortable. Now, for the controls, on the left outside of the muff, there is an on and off button with the mic mute button. And then on the left side, there is a volume wheel that if you press it, you can cycle through EQ settings. Then you also have your micro USB charging port and a little bit of RGB. So that's always good. Now, because this is a wireless headset, let's talk about battery life. This has a claimed 16 hours of battery life, and it does around that with the RGB off. With RGB on, it will die considerably faster, and honestly, I don't think it's worth it for the RGB to have it on. Maybe when it's charging to have it on your setup, but honestly, if it's on your head, like, what's the point? For connectivity, you can only connect this with a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle. Now, sound quality here is passable with how they come from the factory. Bass is lacking, and the mids and trebles are pretty muffled. However, in Corsair's iQ software, you can set custom presets and save them to the headset, which is very cool. But after tuning the EQ, the bass sounds much better. And while the higher end frequencies do get a little muddy if you overboost them, you can get this to sound pretty freaking good, but obviously make sure you get iQ and tune. So after tuning, it's got really good sound quality. The bass is nice and rich. You can get nice, clear, higher end frequencies. It overall sounds really good, but again, from the factory, the EQ is just all off. So you gotta get Corsair's iQ software and customize the EQ yourself. Comfort here is actually really comfortable. These are definitely noticeably heavier, and that's really the only con here because they support everything quite well. Earmuffs are large, and like I said, the fabric is super, super soft, and the foam underneath it is very plush. The top head pad is also super plush and wrapped in the same soft fabric. Long gaming sessions, 3 hours plus. There was no real fatigue from pressing against the head, although I definitely do notice the weight. Now for the mic, honestly, it's all subjective, so take a listen for yourself to the Corsair Void RGB Elite. Take a listen.
Testing the Corsair Void Elite wireless headset. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds. Now for compatibility, this is compatible with PC, Mac, PlayStation, and not Xbox. But with that, let's move on to the number 2 spot, which is the Sennheiser and Massdrop PC37Xs, coming in at a typical price tag of $130, now on sale for $99. We have seen a sale like this before, but still a great time to buy the PC37Xs. Build quality here is good, but honestly nothing special. It's mainly plastic, it isn't too heavy. It doesn't exactly feel budget, but it doesn't feel super premium either. However, the controls here do feel quite a bit nicer with a nice volume turntable on the right earmuff, then a mutable mic by pushing it up to the upright position with a tactile click, almost like a blue switch if you're into mechanical keyboards, so that's interesting. As for connectivity, this uses a detachable cable with a Y splitter built in, so you will need an adapter for some consoles. Sound quality here is great. It's 100% the best on the list by far. These are open back headphones, which means this allows for a wider sound profile, especially for finding enemies with strictly audio. Spatial awareness is significantly better, and the overall quality of sound is really freaking good. Now, open back headsets have some huge pros with gaming headsets, in my opinion, being able to hear yourself while talking to your friends, which is huge, so you don't have it like all muffled. You can actually hear yourself, which sounds a little bit more real. And the biggest thing is the added sensation that the sound is not coming from the headset, but from the area around you, rather than those drivers just a few centimeters from your ear. So this is absolutely huge. If you want the best sound quality just in general, I mean, this is going to be it. A little bit more expensive at $100, but still a best time to buy it, honestly. You're saving $30 and you're getting some truly exceptional sound quality. Now, comfort is the PC37X's Achilles heel. It's not really that great. They don't press too hard against your ear, they're not too heavy, and the earmuff texture is definitely not rough. It's actually quite nice. The only thing they got wrong is making the earmuffs, like the foam, not very plush. This makes things pretty hard and they make this headset a little uncomfortable. You can definitely get aftermarket earmuffs, and I have heard that those are really good, and if I was going to daily this headset, I would absolutely do that. So if that's worth the sound quality to you, maybe possibly have to get aftermarket earmuffs if this doesn't feel perfect on your head, well, that might definitely be worth it, honestly. Now, mic quality here is very, very good. Literally the only problem with this headset is that earmuff foam. The mic isn't muffled. It's truly one of the best microphones on a headset out there. But don't take my word for it. Take a listen to the mic test of the PC37Xs. Take a listen.
This is the mic test for the Sennheiser PC37Xs, Pretty impressive, I would say. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds. Very, very good. Now, this is compatible with PC, and since this uses two 3.5mm connections, you will need an audio adapter if your device only has one jack, like a lot of consoles. But if you get that, well, it's going to be compatible with like everything. But moving on to the number one spot, this is the Razer Barracuda X's, coming in at a typical price tag of $99.99, now on sale for a crazy price of $66.49. That is freaking ridiculous how good that is. Build quality here is a good middle ground between durability, understated styling, and a very well put together headset, which I will say is not usually common for Razer, as a lot of people have said in the past, but this headset, really well done. This has metal bands, plush faux leather headband padding, fabric earmuffs. This does have a detachable mic that stays exactly where you want, like perfectly, which I really appreciate for quality of life. Now for the controls here, on the left side, there is a mic mute button, a volume wheel, and an on and off button that doubles as your mode selection button. It also has a 3.5mm audio jack and a USB Type-C for charging. You can also download the Razer Audio app on your phone for changing EQ settings and seeing your battery life and enabling do not disturb and stuff like that, but you do not have to connect it to Razer Synapse, which is a massive pro for a lot of you. As for connectivity here, this is obviously wireless with either Bluetooth, a 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle that is a USB Type-C, or a 3.5mm wired connection. Now, with the USB Type-C dongle, it also comes with a cable that you can plug it in. So if you don't have a Type-C on your PC or anything like that, you don't have to worry about it. Now, the headset can also be switched between Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle audio sources automatically, which is pretty cool. But the battery life here is pretty freaking impressive, especially for the price point it is right now, which just freaking shocks me. And honestly makes me sad that I paid the full price for it. But this has a claimed battery life of 50 hours, which that is actually very good, but I usually reach closer to 60 hours, which is pretty friggin' impressive. Now, sound quality here is really surprisingly good. A very balanced sound profile with great low frequency response. Bass is punching and deep without being overbearing or muddy. Mids and trebles were clean, not muffled or overly sharp. Just an incredibly enjoyable listening experience with music, and so epic for playing games. And you can get a 7.1 like download from Razer, and well, that makes the spatial awareness quite good for FPS style games. For comfort, it is great here. They don't press too tightly against my head. The fabric of the earmuffs keep it cool during long, hot gaming sessions. They aren't too heavy, and the top band is also super plush. Really enjoyable to wear for 3+ hour long gaming sessions without any fatigue. By the way, this was also tested with both my contacts in as well as glasses on, and both times it performed really well without any fatigue or pressing my glasses into the side of my head, which is an impressive feat, as most headsets cannot do that. Now, as far as mic quality, this is all gonna be subjective to you. Obviously, it's not gonna be the PC37X's, but take a listen to the Razer Barracuda X's.
Testing the Razer Barracuda X Razer headset. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how they sound. Now, for compatibility, this is compatible with PC, PlayStation, Switch, Android, Mac, iOS, and Xbox in wired mode. But again, if you want to check out any of the 5 headsets in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. A ton of great headsets on sale, but the Barracuda X is, oh my god, for that price point, that is a freaking really good deal. But yeah, this is a consumer tech review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.